Hi, I'm Franco Puerio Scubna, and this is the director's commentary for the documentary Cellphones. Throughout the documentary, we try to both use and challenge conventions. Ways we use conventions are the obvious things like the stereotypical teenager, always on their cell phone, and oftentimes being distracted and winding up getting into trouble or even fatal accidents. And this is shown through several reenactments, including one where a student is on his phone in class and simply gets in trouble, and another much more serious reenactment where a car crash happens due to distracted driving because of cell phones. And the way we challenge these conventions of the stereotypical teenager is with my narration throughout the project, where I approach the subject of cell phone addiction in a discursive manner where I address both parts of the issue, so how cell phones can be beneficial and how they're dangerous. But I am also more so defending why I believe cell phones can be dangerous and their distractions can be dangerous, and that's not something you would typically see coming from a teenager, and so the convention is somewhat challenged in that regard. The documentary as a whole talks about a subject that is widespread and it can affect everyone because cell phone use, cell phone addiction, and the distractions caused by cell phones are a societal problem. It's something that everyone can experience, and so it's a really big issue, and that's how we figured we would really reach the audience, is by choosing an issue that everyone can relate to and everyone can understand. And throughout the project, we represent several social groups because this is an issue that touches several social groups. We represent teenagers, such as myself and the other teenagers portrayed in the reenactments in the documentary, and also younger children and as well as adults. And so it's very widespread, and the documentary tries to portray that as well as possible. I think that when it comes to creating a brand, it's very important to send a message and give the audience a message that will stick with them. And so we try to do that in the documentary by sending our message that cell phone distractions can be very dangerous and they can have a bad effect on our lives. And I think we did a good job of engaging the audience with that message through our reenactments. We have several reenactments, such as hallway scenes, the dinner table scene, and of course the interviews of the car crash survivor. And these sentiments send our message in a way that will stick with the audience and they will remember our brand. And this goes with our website that we also created to explain and enhance the documentary. So as a whole, these things come together, and when you think cell phones, the documentary, you'll remember the message. And I think that's what branding is all about. The way we attempted to engage the audience with Cell Phones, the documentary, is emotion. We tried to create feelings of sentiment with the viewers as they were watching. We used several reenactments and interviews of situations that can happen in real life and did happen in real life. And through these compelling stories, the audience is supposed to get that feeling of sympathy. They see what's happening and they realize that that could happen to anyone, that can happen to them. And I think that really engages you when you're watching a sad story and you realize, wow, that could have been me. And I think that's a very important process in engaging the audience. Because the documentary is about such a widespread topic, something that affects social groups everywhere, it would be distributed as a real media text to those widespread audiences. It would be distributed to all ranges of social groups because that's who it pertains to and that's who it's about. And to do that, we would use the tried and true forms of advertisement such as television, and we would also use social media, because great ways to spread messages are through social media websites that are frequently used, such as Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. And by using these forms of media, we could get our message to a larger population. As well as we would also try to use other websites. The website we created, of course, would be used as a form of advertisement for the documentary, but the documentary and the website could be advertised through other websites, could be put on YouTube, and we could also take the documentary to film festivals and just do as much as we possibly could to reach the audience, because when we reach the audience, we send them the message, and that's what this product is all about, is sending a message. The documentary Cellphones and the website that we created to go along with it are both forms of media, and forms of media require technology to create, because media is an art form, and every art form requires its tools. The tools we used varied because of the two differing types of media. The documentary was a film, while the website was in different territory. It was a website. And for the creation of the documentary, we used very advanced, high-quality equipment such as Nikon cameras, Sony cameras, Panasonic cameras, and a Ronin to perform a lot of the filming and the shot work. And as far as editing the documentary, we used software that is professionally used when editing, such as Final Cut Pro and Photoshop, as well as even some After Effects and Motion. And I think all of those elements of filming and editing came together to make the documentary flow well and make it look very good. When it came to making the website, that was something that was a little different for my partner and I, because we're used to making video projects, but we've never made a website before. So it was a little different, but we got through it. We ultimately used a website building resource called Weebly.com, and it provided a template for us to design the website, and we followed the template, and that's how we created the website. And overall, I think everything came together well. And of course, like I previously stated, media, like our society, is growing and changing every day, and with it, technology changes. And it's important to integrate the technologies we have access to when creating our forms of media.